Thank you for joining us today. We have a special guest with us, obviously, as always, my boy Steve. But the more important guest today is Daniela, who's joining us today.
Thank you.
We're gonna have a fun time. We got some great topics today, and so how you guys doing today?
Doing pretty
good.
Daniela, how you been? I think. Did you go to charter or did you go?
I did.
Yeah, I've been trying to pinpoint where I've seen you before.
Maybe. We all went to charter,
did?
right?
Oh, you did go to charter.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
But when we first
I feel like
nice to meet you, and I'm like, yeah, nice to meet you.
I don't know why.
You're like, but you don't remember me?
I don't quite remember you, but I do remember you. Like, in a way.
Do you know when you see somebody that you obviously have met before? Like, I've talked to you, and they're like, nice to meet you. It's like, no, you know me. But this isn't the case, though.
That's okay. No offense taken. I'm a forgettable guy.
No, charter, was a big school. I think, I think you guys were leaving us as I was coming in. Like, I don't even remember taking classes with any of y'all. Like, Akiko, I know you more from, like, Nicole.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I didn't even know you went to charter, so that says that that would explain.
Well,
I think you were you're a bit younger than us. We're a bit older.
We can talk about numbers. Give me your digits.
Well, we did have the last episode called the Dirty 30s.
I haven't heard that yet.
It's about to. Oh no, it already came out.
Yeah,
so
this morning.
It does give you an idea of where we at. But
I'll listen to that then.
I found a couple white ones in the beard already, so I'm kind of.
Oh, you guys talked about white hairs? No.
No.
Like, I'm in denial. I'm like, no.
No, but you
I'm
can
like,
paint your hair till
right?
you can paint your hair till you're 80. Like if we paint our hair or our
Dude,
mustache,
no.
have you ever seen the guys that do the mustache, but then like half the mustache is white and then the bottom half is black?
It's a little ombre.
Yeah, hard ombre. Like
Hombre, it's un hombre. No, I dyed my hair once in my life, and now I did it again. I think it's because, Corona is making you kind of crazy, do things that you wouldn't do. So I did it, but I'm never doing this again. Like, dyeing your hair is a hustle. Like, that's too much work. The girls out there that always have their hair on point, like, listen, clap, because that's a lot of work, y'all. I'm just letting it be. Forget it.
For real.
It's a lot of work.
For real.
It is true, man. I get a haircut every 2 weeks, and that's it. I don't do anything else. So it is unfair to the ladies. They do have a lot more to deal with.
Isn't
or
it
you
weird?
Can just let it be. Live your best life.
Yeah. But it is funny how there are certain things that our men do and don't worry about, and then women do and they have to worry about. And I mean, it's kind of funny how that's kind of tying into our topic for today, right? The differences between men and women and the superior race being, of course, women.
Set something like, are we equal or are we not? Because I don't think we are, and that's okay, right? We're not meant to be, unless you guys think otherwise.
I think we're supposed to be different. I don't know if we're supposed to be doing the exact same thing.
Right?
Because I don't think women would. I wouldn't want a woman to like be lifting more than me, but you wouldn't want a man to be like being as sensitive as most women. You know what I mean? So it's like you could be different, and that's okay, because like we talked about, we kind of need each other, right? We need each other.
The thing is, I think people, or maybe I don't know the definition as well, but equal doesn't necessarily need to mean I was gonna say like equal doesn't mean the same, but I guess it does.
Equal. 1 + 1 = 4.
7.
Guys, like, for real, equal does not always mean the same. No, but what I'm trying to say is that
Oh God.
the fact that women and men, we both are worth the same. I guess if that's like, we're both of value.
Yeah.
Why would we be with each other if there wasn't things that the other has that I don't have, and vice versa? You know. I mean, just like with even if you're gay, obviously the other person brings something to the table that normally you don't have, and that's sort of just how the dynamics work. And I think those differences are even go farther when you have a heterosexual relationship with a man and a woman, where there's things that a man, like, I remember there was a quote that says something like, I'm gonna butcher it, but it was something like, some women want to be like so equal to men, but they don't realize like they have all these beautiful things that the men could never be, and it's like, it's you want to be that, and then let the men be whatever they are.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Yeah.
We're not meant to be the same. I don't like. There's a beauty in being a woman, and then there's a whole other beauty in being a man, and I think that we bring different energies, we bring different points of view. Physically, we're different. It's okay. Like, I feel like you guys were just meant to be bigger, and that's just the way you're supposed to be. I'm meant to have a baby, my child. You're not. That's just the way I'm supposed to be. I think along this, like, somewhere along the discussions of, like, equality, when it came to equal rights, it's somehow translated into other sorts of equality that, like, it's not even like natural to me, or like it doesn't make sense. Like,
what do you think about people that feel like strongly about not what you're supporting, but like the people who actually like get upset like at the whole topic of men and women and equal and being treated the same and all that stuff, like feminism, I guess would be the word I'm looking for.
Yeah,
or modern.
Exactly. I think that feminism, I've seen some represented, like some people that call themselves feminists, and then I applaud them. They talk a lot of truth, of real facts, in the workplace, being more represented, women being more educated in investment, and things like that we're lacking as women, but we don't have to get mad at men about that. So there's women that I applaud, but then there's other kind of feminists that I listen to, and I'm like, this makes no sense, dude. Like, I think they're coming out of a place of like hate. I think feminism to them doesn't mean equal rights, but it means to like oppressing the man. They're mad at the other gender for whatever reason. I don't know. I think they're just spewing hate, and people like that and I think that people like that exist in every movement. In Black Lives Matter, you have people that also scream things that you're like, this is not what the fight is about at all. I just think that every movement has like the people that are super extreme, and they don't even, I think, see reality for what it is, in my opinion. But I'm sure they think they're right and we're crazy, right? I don't know.
The Broskiedoodles are always correct.
That's a fact.
We know a little facts, but
you can fact check us on that.
Okay.
Hey, quickly. So men and women, I think they're meant to be different, and there's different things about each of them that complements the other. Now, would you say that in today's world, Daniela, and I think it's important that, first time that we have a girl on the podcast, we do discuss certain topics, because it does feel a bit like unfair for us to say like our own opinions on things, and if there's no girl there to actually be like, hey, maybe check us, then it wouldn't be fair. But do you think nowadays, in a first world country like the U.S. or Europe, do you think women like have an issue to succeed, like are discriminated against in a way, they're not being paid the same? Like, how do you see yourself in the world when you compare yourself to everyone else?
So, I mean, personally, because I know everybody has different experiences in life, right? I can only talk about how much I live, and I live in Florida, South Florida, which is a very friendly city for people like me. I don't know experiences of other people, in other states that I know they're a little different. But hell no, man. Like, I never felt, or at least I've been too ignorant maybe to notice, but I've never felt that my gender or my color or my age or anything has set me back in the workplace. Never. I feel like the opportunities are there for me as they are for my male colleagues, and sometimes they get them, sometimes I get them, depends who works harder. And I think I never felt like I get paid less because I'm a woman. Never. But then again, I live, in my own circle. I don't know the realities of people out there, but I feel it's a fair game, man. You work hard, you get the rewards. I'm a true testament to that. So
I agree. I mean, whenever I've switched jobs, it's I've always felt like they've been trying to pay me as least as possible, and as a man,
of course.
You know what I mean? And I know that's a common thing across the board. I mean, that's fine. But to say that they even go more cheap on a female hire, I don't believe that to be true. Maybe at like an executive level, and I maybe at that range. I've never been there, so I couldn't tell you if like these women CEOs tend to get paid less than male CEOs. But then also I wonder if, like what we were talking about before, right? If men are a certain way, if men are like a stronger, more testosterone filled kind of a being, right? Are we more aggressive in negotiations? Because I wonder. I'm not saying that saying that women don't try to negotiate. I just wonder. Sometimes you get one of these scary women that I'll fucking take the shirt off my back for, like, please,
Absolutely.
hey, like, you can have whatever the fuck you want, like, seriously. But I tried to translate that to the business sense, and I think, well,
you're taking your shirt off, bro.
I mean, like, take whatever the fuck you need from me, because you're scaring the fuck out of me.
What kind of sexual fucking interviews are you going to, man? It's pretty kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean, Miami's a little sketchy. No.
No. I think I was listening to. It was an interview with some very educated person. They did a study that showed that women invest, like women are not into investing. I think it's the percentage that women invest is like 30% to 100% men. That's kind of it's less 70%, I guess, less women, or some around those numbers. And I believe that to be true. I mean, I am now getting into investment. I'm not trying to look at the stock market, trying to learn when to invest, short trade, day trade versus long term. I'm learning all of this, and it's because I see my boyfriend doing it. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. It's kind of cool that you put $5,000 and the next thing you got 20. That's pretty awesome to me. I want to learn how to do that. But most women are not interested in that. None of my girlfriends, at least, are interested into that kind of topics. It's not that it's not women friendly. It's just women are generally not interested in it. For whatever reason, personal reason they have. It's not like it's not available to them. I'm looking at a ton of YouTube channels, and then the information is there for me free. I think that also leads to women. A lot of I've learned to be a hard negotiator, and that is because I've talked to, and again, I don't want to sound like one of those women, but I've talked to male influences along my career, and they're like, bro, you should have asked for more. Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? And I'm like, oh shit, for real? I can negotiate? And they're like, yeah, you dumbass. And ever since then, I'm just like, I come in asking, I put my dick out. I'm like, give me this much, because this is what I want. Yeah. But it's not common, or I believe, again, I could be wrong, but it's more common for women to just be like, okay, and do not negotiate as hardcore, or, be a little more, I guess, willing to settle quickly, or I don't know what the right term is, but I think you have a point.
But it is a fact, though, that women are worse negotiators. And no, but in your case, it's good that there's women like you, and this should be like a, if it's anything, like something that pushes women to understand that they can also do that. And I think that when we talk about equality in the workplace, employers look at us all equally. They all equally want to fuck us over and get us for the cheapest price. So the fact that someone got a better rate, I'm pretty sure has nothing to do with, because this is the way that I look at it. In today's world, if you wanted to discriminate somebody because of anything else than their skills, it's gonna cost you in the free market. Like the way that I think of how businesses work. Like if I'm not gonna hire Daniela because she's a woman, right, over a guy, and Daniela's more qualified, it's like I'm losing money.
That's stupid. Nobody's out there doing that shit. Like, I want to make money. I don't care who you are. Come make me money.
And I think even when you look at it through the greedy point of view, it's like someone that's greedy is going to wanna get the best one for the job. And also, this is the other thing that I this argument is very, I never heard anybody be able to go against it, but it's like, if women get paid less for the same job, then as a businessman, wouldn't you just hire women and just have a cheaper labor force? And as a woman, you'd be like, all right, so I can take over many fucking markets because I'll be, you know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense to me. All my bosses are women in my job, and I mean, of course, it's very specific to my situation, but I just don't see how it would make sense. Like, even back in the day, when you look at racial discrimination, for example, Jackie Robinson, right, was the first black guy to play baseball. It wasn't because of us. I mean, obviously at that time there were civil movements going on about, but it wasn't like, oh, we want to give like the black man the rights that they deserve. That wasn't the reason. It was because of incentives, right? They couldn't beat the Yankees, so they're like, this guy is super fast, he can hit really well, let's get him. And so what I'm trying to say is that even when they're acting out of their own interest, it is not in your interest to discriminate other than by the skills that they have.
100%.
Right? I think that's what it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
And that applies to women or anything. Like, whatever you are, women, black, gay, anything. Like, if you can get this job and give me this productivity, that's all I care about. I don't give a fuck about anything else.
Even if you're a child, in some country.
Yeah, man.
No importa. Bring the baby.
If you're 13, fuck it. Just don't tell me.
You look 17, bro.
You know what I mean? Like, change your little birth certificate. Let's do business.
Dude, us Hispanics, man, we've been working on the down low since we're like 10. Like, for real.
I've been washing dishes in the pizzerias.
Yeah, man.
Since I was 14.
But I agree. I think today, and again, I can only speak about my experience. If somebody out there is getting offended based on what I'm saying, I'm sorry. I don't know what you've been through. But what I've been through, man, the opportunities have been there for me. I've been actually very lucky, very blessed. I'm in a really good place in my career. So, if I want to, I just have to work hard. I think, however, the problem is that, we all know about gender roles, right? Usually the woman is the one that is there for more hands-on with the kids, right? At home, kind of like she's like the home manager in a way. And I think a lot of jobs, in order for you to fully, succeed, they don't expect you to work 40 hours, man. You're going to be putting 50 plus. And I think a lot of women find it hard to balance both. How can I fucking be a boss bitch and also be there for my kids? I think that's kind of more when I think it's just kind of unfair, but it's not really unfair because I'm making the decision. I can get a nanny and I can go to work and the kids are going to be there.
Well, also, and this is the other thing, you hit a really good point there. Obviously there's a biological difference and women have to bear the children, so that puts them, if you want to call it a disadvantage, that puts them in a certain situation, at least. I don't want to, you can consider it bad or negative, whatever. But, like, with lawyer women, because lawyers is a profession where you have women and men sort of excel in it, so it's a good profession to use in comparison. Like, the firms that have really good, like, women lawyers, when they're like 25, 26, and they start rising up, and they're like these very competitive women, when they get to 30, 31, they're like, all right, we want you to become partner with us, like, let's ride. And a lot of women end up like, oh, no, fuck, why would I want to work 80 hours a week? Like, I just want to have a kid and, like, enjoy my life. And I think that liberty and freedom means, if you want to think like that and be like, wait, why am I killing myself working 80 hours a week to, like, have this Mercedes? And no, like, I want a regular life. I want to enjoy life. You can do that. Or if you're like, no, fuck kids, fuck a man, I'm a boss bitch, I'm going to take over this shit. Well, you can do that too. And the thing is, whoever does that, regardless if you're a man or a woman, you have to work 80 hours a day, a week, and you have to forget about, like, a normal life. And that applies to, like, a very small percentage of the population. Like, Steven and me, maybe I'm talking shit about Steven, but at least me, I'm not like that. Like, I'm not that type of guy, you know what I mean? Like, so I'm in the same position as, like, the women that criticize those men, like, oh, like, overachievers, like, oh, I'm with you, like,
you're like, why are they working so hard, bro?
Yeah, I'm a lazy motherfucker. I'm waiting for the holidays and shit. Like, I don't want to do shit.
You know what I mean? Like, do I need to go to work today, man? It's Friday.
I just want to fucking play video games and play the guitar, and that's it. So if as a woman you want to become successful, you also need to do the work, like, regardless. These men are not being rewarded with these positions because, like, oh, here, you white man, come here, you're the CEO of...
You're the whitest man I've seen out there, come here. And we're back there like, they took our jobs.
Yeah.
Oh, God damn it, you white man.
There are some psychological differences though. Like for instance, I know that my godfather in like the entertainment and in like the news, specifically they don't tend to like them having beards, right? And certain things are perceived a little bit differently when you talk about like if there's I don't know, like, down in Miami, it's the Wild Wild West. It's a little bit different. We see our news anchors, black, Latina. They're like wearing basically like club dresses. The weather girls down here, and I'm like, my dude. But I mean, yeah. So this is we cannot use Miami as a control group.
Don't.
We're those.
But,
we are,
fucking
yeah.
embarrassing.
But most people,
people.
respond better, trust more in business too. Like when you're talking about negotiations and stuff. More and more time goes by, and the beard will become more like, common thing. The tattoos are becoming more common, but typically you trust more a beardless white guy, apparently, according to psychology, and I think only time is going to be able to start to blend these differences between men, women, and black, Hispanic, white. Men,
I mean, like,
bearded,
if I get in an
bearded,
airplane
blonde,
and I see the captain and it's Steven coming in, I'm like, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck that. But if I see some, like, Brad Pitt looking guy, I'm like, oh, I'm good. I can trust that guy.
There you go.
Well, there's a study out there that also says that people trust people that are attractive more.
Well, I mean, if you want to talk about, I mean, I was just kidding about the whole Latino thing, but, there is times where psychologically we do get affected by that type of thing. And what you're saying about the good looking thing, I'm pretty sure it even works on same sex, even if you're not gay. Like, just the fact that, I mean, there is a thing like in Japan, like I'm fucked because I really like Japan, but I guess this won't work for me. If you're overweight, you're fucked. Like, you're not being hired.
You're fucked. Nobody hiring you.
Straight up. Like, if you're overweight, that means you have no self-control. And that's totally true. So they shouldn't. I should not.
He's like, I agree.
And they ain't lying about it.
I am not worthy of this company, sir. And Konami does not want me to, or whatever, Shimano. They got a bunch of great companies. No, but like women, right? Like I know this sounds fucked, and I don't want to like give an example, a one-off example, but like women that talk about inequality. Like if you're a girl and you're somewhat attractive, that's a privilege right there.
You pretty girl privilege, you. I mean, I gotta say, but that happens with both sexes. Like, let's say you're at work and you're a woman. If a man is being a little flirtatious and he's handsome, it's flirting. If he's ugly, it's like sexual behavior, bro. You're being sexually inappropriate. Isn't it? Like.
Oh, bro.
I mean, how did
okay,
it
I'll consider that flirting. You're some old nasty ass guy. You're like, I'm gonna go to HR real quick. I think just attractive people can get away with more shit. Like Ted Bundy, bro. He killed a whole bunch of people, and the guy was like handsome as fuck.
Well. I mean, Zac Efron is handsome as fuck. You haven't seen this guy.
He been killing some people too, I bet.
Yeah, I bet. No, but dude, it's funny that you say like that,
right.
the thing about the workforce, because I've thought about this myself. Like, imagine you having this talk with HR and the guy's like, "What are you talking about? I was just flirting with you." And then it's like, "Bitch, have you looked yourself in the mirror? You don't qualify as a flirty guy. You're fucking a sexual harasser. You're a sexual harasser all the way. Stay away from people."
Oh, I would never do that.
When you get to a level, then you can start flirting, dog.
Oh, but you know what I mean? Like, especially with women,
but isn't that fucked, though? Isn't that fucked, though?
I'm just here to speak reality.
No, but isn't it fucked? And again, I'm not talking about some like creepy guy doing some creepy shit. Because,
if you're creepy, you're going to be creepy, hot or not. Fucking creepy.
Right, but what I'm trying to say is like, if somebody hits on you and it's all sort of following the regular code of like, hey, how you doing? And then you're like, you sort of give the indirects of like, hey, I'm not interested. And the guy's like, all right, I lost this battle, next or whatever. Then that should be it. But it seems like in certain cases, it does work like what you're saying, right? Like if the guy is hot, then it's all cool. If I don't like him, then anything he does is like, what the fuck are you doing?
It's like,
get out of here.
Did you guys see there was like this show on Netflix that was like, I don't know, I can't remember the name of it. Maybe it's 360 Days, something like that. But it was like this guy captures this woman and basically like kidnaps her and takes her, and like he gives her a certain amount of time, I think it's a year, to fall in love with him. And then all the girls are like, "Ooh, that's so hot, this and that, whatever." And then I read an article. It's like, yeah, bitches, if that was some ugly ass old nasty guy, you would be miserable. Like, it's funny how attractiveness sometimes, lets you get away. Like, let's say a cougar, bro, some hot ass lady, hot ass teacher. She's a high school student. Everybody's like, oh man, that's so hot. Yeah. What if that was some nasty ass old like lady que huele a feo?
Yeah. Or if it's the other way around.
Like,
Or if it's a guy, if it's a teacher, it's a guy, and then, obviously there's a double standard there. But,
it is, but that's the reality.
But I think there's a reason for it too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think when a guy is with a woman that's a lot younger and he's taking advantage of her, that woman has also, even if she doesn't have the fear, there's a possibility of this guy hurting her, right? And the other way around, it's less probable, right? Like, if a teacher is gonna be with a kid, like, he's just gonna fuck the kid. Like, I don't think she could, like, I'm gonna murder this kid. Like,
murder this kid.
Or maybe I'm talking shit. These kids are stupid. He's just like, oh, I'm gonna get my dick sucked, and she just comes with an axe and fucking chop his head off. I guess that could also happen, right? But I don't know why I'm going with with this thing. But what I'm trying to say is that I guess a double standard of like, whenever like
there is a double standard, and
but I think there's reasons. I think there's reasons at times, not a double standard in like things where like women should have the right or thing, not in that sense, but like in the protection of women, like, you know what I mean? Like,
oh, you're trying to protect me, misogynist, patriarchy. No.
Oh, I'm not enough to protect myself because I'm a woman, I'm inferior. It's like, no, I'm actually on your side. I'm just trying to like, oh, so what?
No, I agree, man. Like, the reality is there's double standards for a lot of things, and there's a reason why there's double standards, because, again, we go back to we're not the same, man. If a man wants to be with some young girl, it's kind of creepy both ways, but I can definitely agree how, like, an old guy with a young girl is kind of like, versus, like,
now,
J-Lo's fucking women. 50. She looks hot as fuck, man. Like, come on.
Yeah.
But also everybody has a different taste, right? So for instance, some people like the mature, some people like the feet, some people like the rich men. I wonder why. So it's sometimes beauty is beauty's in the eye of the beholder, right? Whatever they focus that beauty on. But one thing that I do kind of disagree with is like the blatant. It's like the women telling other women that this is the way it's hot. Like it's shown to me most in this new Cardi B music video. Has anybody seen that?
The one with the stallion, the other girl.
But there's a lot of girls. There's Rosalia. There's
is this a new one?
No.
No. Oh, but they don't sing. Rosalia doesn't
WAP.
sing.
No, they're in the video though.
Oh no, and I haven't seen that video. No.
So it's Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion.
Who's that? I'm gonna look her up real quick because I don't know.
Yeah, just look it up real quick. And actually, I would recommend just watch the video without the audio, and you'll just start to see it in a different way because the song is absolute trash. It's called WAP. It's Wet Ass Pussy is what it stands for, and it's. They're just talking about that I don't do dishes, I don't do this, but I still got the ring, and it's like it's.
I have the video on mute right now, and
and they're walking around with tigers and this and that, and they're baller, and that's like a very Scarface thing, right? It's like the powerful drug dealer man, fucking money and power and tigers. Apparently, tigers
means power.
Means power, right? So my problem with this video and the song too, but my problem with the video is that they've brought other women onto it, and it's funny because all the other women are kind of skanky except for Rosalia, which is Latina, and the only thing I can think.
You don't know who Rosalia is?
man. I'm
like this. She's with like J Balvin and.
It's like some like.
Wait, I know her. She's like beautiful, right?
Yeah, she's really pretty.
Yeah.
She's kind of pretty.
Yeah, but yeah. So, but I guess what I'm trying to say is that my problem with it is that like every one of these girls are looking super skanky. A side note: Rosalia is not looking that skanky. She's like in like all red leather, and the only and like covered from neck to toe, but like kind of like Catwoman-esque. Yeah. But it's better. It's better than that. And the only thing I could think of is that like, well, her mother raised her right because si su mamá se ve ahí, la ve ahí like tits out and shit like that.
Yeah, but I mean, she's done like Rosalia does like sexy stuff, anyways. But
I know, but
she's not that level skanky.
But not like Yeah. Did you? Well, look at Cardi B.
No. I mean, I'm not defending. I mean, this is my thing.
What I'm saying is she didn't stoop to that level. But wait, let me get my thought out. So my thought out with this is that I think that here's Cardi B, right? And she, if you listen to her come up, she came up from the streets of
New York,
from where New York, I'm sure. But like, she became a stripper to be able to pay for her stuff, right? But then some guy or she started realizing, well, if you hop on the pole, you'll make money. If you hop on the pole and you got big tits or you got big ass, you'll make more money. And then so you start to brainwash this woman into thinking that, well, the more sexual and more slutty I am, the more success I'm going to have, right? On the flip side, she's a talented person. She's Latina. Here is like this perfect little influencer for women, right? And I think this is all driven by like the shitty men higher up, personally, me. But I think that they're giving her everything she wants and brainwashing her into influencing the other women to be like beautiful and dumb, essentially. You know what I mean? And so it becomes like a manipulation. Like she's the little puppet that's making all these other women want to just be like pumping money into cosmetic surgery and setting themselves up to just have a rich man, basically, or to get a power. And I don't think that's very women.
Yeah, it's not boss. In fact,
it's
not boss.
Women.
I don't think I don't think so.
It's not boss at all. You're just a bit.
I mean, like, because then you're just disposable, right? If as easy as you can buy your body and buy your look, is as easy as somebody else can buy another one of you. You know what I'm saying? And then where are you
this
really
is the
left?
Thing.
Other than knowing the divorce.
I think that this whole empowerment through like, oh, I'm a hoe or I'm a whatever, like that whole empowerment, like, oh, sexually as a woman I can do this, like, cause men can fuck anybody they want. I'm all for that. Like, you be free, be whatever you want, but it's just like, can't you be like a boss bitch and then also like look classy as fuck? Like, I don't know, like Alicia Keys style. I mean, it just came to my mind, like someone that's like, damn, boss, but it's like, I guess there's nothing wrong with you wanting to show everything that you got, but the way that I look at it is, that's not the type of women that I'll be looking like for like a relationship with. I don't know if that's like an argument for any of this. They're like, I don't want a relationship. I'm just trying to make money. But like, but I'm just saying it's weird.
I think that we should definitely celebrate women's sexuality, but not like that. And the way I see it is like, I mean, before women weren't supposed to like show their ankles or whatever fucking shit, you couldn't show your skin much. Let's celebrate, but we already have that right. Like, you can already wear whatever you want, girl. You can already be as sexual as you want. That doesn't mean we have to over-sexualize everything. But I think it's been, like, I don't remember things being this sexual when I was young, man. I think this is a lot of pressure for, like, because as a woman, I want to feel sexy too, right? But I don't want to look like that. But I feel like that's the new level. If you want to be sexy, that is just the way you have to look. You have to have the big ass. You have to have the little bitty, weedy waist. And you have to be a hoe and just show it around. So I think as a woman, if you want to, because when you're sexy, you attract, everybody likes attention, right? And you want to feel sexy no matter who you are. But I think my mama raised me right, and I know there's a way to look sexy and still look classy and sophisticated. I think there's a beauty of a woman that dresses herself really well, that you can tell has a good body because, she has form-fitting clothes and stuff, but not because, her half of her titties hanging down from her shirt. That's not classy. And it's definitely not, as a man, that's not a woman I want to take home to my mom. Like, I think that's kind of like, leave that for home, that this is not appropriate. And I think we lost a lot of appropriateness, especially like in Florida, man. It's like land of plastic over here.
I get it's hot, but like not that hot.
But Steven, you said something. You're like, I think that there's actually nasty men like directing this thing from the top, and it makes sense. Like, to me, it seems like throughout the whole history of like television, right? Back in the day, society was very machista, very unfair, very fucked, right? And we've progressed and we've improved from that. But back then, women were just like, okay, you go on the screen and you look pretty. Obviously, back in the day, they wouldn't show their tits, but they would do the equivalent of that, like show your legs. Like, that's all you are. You're just a sex symbol. So if you've empowered yourself, wouldn't you as a community, women would want to be like, all right, like you just said, now that we have the right, the liberty to do whatever the fuck we want, it's like, I'm not going to give you nasty men what you want. Like, fuck you. Like, I don't know, like, it's sort of like, if you want to stick it to the men, which is like the actual men, it's like, that's not how you would, I don't know, that's not how I would. Yeah, like make a fire song that's a #1 Billboard, but don't show anything. And it's just like,
you don't need to be sexual about it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But, maybe
you guys know sex sells.
It does, but...
It does, but it sold me. It sold me with the legs. It didn't have to sell me with with the actual.
Over-sexual.
You know what I'm saying?
And then, like you mentioned, Steve, there's like, she's such an influencer. I feel like when you raise to that amount of power and influence to other people, other kids, other women, I think you have kind of like a responsibility to not even behave like your normal self, but your extra well, super good normal self for you to. I think you have to give a good example. And I feel bad. Like, I know there's a lot of girls that, they feel very, very pressured. And you see, dude, the other day I was driving, like a year ago, because there was no school anymore. But, like, middle school girls, bro, they don't even, I didn't look like that until I was, like, 24. I'm like, how the fuck? Like, that's just the new normal. These girls from very young, they want to be sexual. They want to dress sexual. They want the big boobs. And you're like, but you're 12.
Yeah, I think it's super dangerous.
Yeah. Enjoy life. Enjoy life. Yeah. No, and that's just it. Like, cause like then they're buying. They're already consumers. You know what I'm saying? That's the point. Because these men at the top are telling this girl to tell everybody else to look that way, and then all these women are going out and buying makeup and looking like Kylie Jenner. What, you think Kylie Jenner's in there because she just loves the song? No, she's in there to fucking
make money,
promote her stuff, and exactly. And all of these women. Other women artists, which you know what, to a degree, if I'm right about this, I'm fine with it. But all these other women artists hopping on the video, right now everything is dead. There's no touring. Artists make money when they tour, and right now there's no touring, right? So what are you gonna do? You got to stay relevant. You come out on a video, so next time you go on tour, somebody's going to go see you on tour. You know what I'm saying? And again, it's like, everybody look at Cardi B and Megan's ass real quick. And by the way, check out who else is here. Go buy their stuff. Go do this. Go do that. And it sucks. It sucks because I mean, I'm not to be cheesy, but beauty disappears, right? Cardi B's tits will sag. Everybody will sag. I look like shit. Kiko look like shit. Daniela, you're young. You're probably never gonna look like that bad, but you'll look a little more older than you do now, right? So it's just the way it is, but they're just selling sex, and they're selling it like I'm a young. Like, they're selling it like.
But you say Daniela, like, sex sells
from the concentrate.
And I guess to the masses, yeah. But I'm pretty sure, like me and Steve, we sort of know each other's taste a little bit on music. Like, we listen to this stuff, and like, believe me, trash. We're not looking at these girls like, oh my god, what a fine ass.
No, but like, the other girls are. I think it's like, it's funny how we make it for men. But then it's women who watch them and they're like, oh shit. I think like they're the ones that are more impacted by all of this than even men. Men are like, oh, another fucking tit on the TV. Like,
you know what? You just brought up a great point, because I was talking about this in the car when I was doing a little research about it. And like Kylie Jenner looking as hot as she does, and she like, dude, if you ever take a look at her face in 2015 versus 2016, 1 year, she's not even the same person. But regardless, when you look at it, like, girls are the ones that are following her. Her millions of followers are women. They're not men. Men are not like over. You know what I'm saying? So when you start to realize who's actually buying, there's something to be said about Cardi B and Megan on the looking like that, and other women. We're just using this as the most recent thing, right? So sorry, I went on.
No, but that was good.
Wasn't okay with that. If I had a daughter, it makes me feel like I want to put her in the closet for the rest of her life, but I won't do that. I won't do that.
No, but it is.
We'll check his closet next time. God knows what the fuck he has in there.
Oh, I've got some stuff.
No, but it's mad scary though. Like the Instagram, man. You know, the other day, like, I was just going through, because I need to get better at this stuff with, like, you know, the Broskiedoodles and my own music stuff. And I'm just, like, looking at, you know, how do we use these things? Because, like, Instagram is as far as I get. The rest, TikTok, I have Steven explaining to me how it works and sending me links sometimes. But with Instagram, you just get your face always slammed with, like, girls just, and you just, like, you see sometimes some girls and you're like, you're not even a model. Like, you're just some chick that from Miami Lakes that, like, what the fuck is happening? Like, dude, like, normal people, like, it's like you're saying, what type of pressure women have now that they have to, like, be amazingly on point every time. It's just, it is scary, you know? It is like, it's dangerous.
Pressure. But I think men also, I mean, I think women, we have a lot of pressure of, like, you gotta look good, you gotta look hot, and you better never fucking age. And, you know, there's also the pressure of having kids, man. I'm almost 30. And it's like the clock's ticking, and I'm like, no. The clock's not, let's ignore it, snooze. I'm like, no. But I think men have pressure, too, when it comes to, like, you know, but I think with women it's looks, with men is, I think there's pressure to have money, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're more. We got to get our shit together, because if not, we'll never.
A girl,
have,
right?
You know,
exactly.
The girl. Yeah, exactly, the girl. Because, like, when you talk about 100 women and 100 men, there are probably conservatively 60% of those women looking hot on Instagram, and then, like, all those men have trash Instagrams with, like, blurry photos, and they don't even know what the fuck they're doing. So it's like, there are the dudes that have the perfect hair and the abs, and they, like, walking around, like, kind of showing their packs, and I'm like, well, there's that. But there's probably, like, 4 dudes to 100 of those, but there's way more women to 100 women doing, like, pose. You know the famous photo, like, posing, looking at the water, holding the hat, checking out my ass.
I'm not
like,
looking.
You know, Aristotle. Yeah, I'm not looking. Aristotle quote said this and that. Like, bitch, I don't give a fuck about
your life is like a sunflower. Some stupid dumbass quote. And then it's like hashtag
like,
no filter. Bitch, you got like 20 filters on. Get the fuck
The only
out
captions, the only caption you can put with a picture like that is like, yeah, I fucking know. Like some shit like that. Like,
and I respect
I'll be like,
the
that's what's up.
Thank you
but
for
if you
being
like,
honest.
you know, like some like only, you know, I mean, only God can judge me. That's like the classic one. But like, I've seen, you know, in Spanish we have like a thing at least in Venezuela where it's like bendecida y afortunada. Like that's the, I don't know if in Colombia or if you, but it's like some hot ass girl, right? That moved to like, she got everything operated, moved to like Miami, started like
tits out in the picture, right?
Yeah, and then she's just like agradecida, afortunada,
Yeah,
like I'm blessed and all this shit. No, you're not blessed. You did some shit, and you know, I mean, I'm just kidding, but in some cases.
No, but it's true. Like, I gotta say the truth, and I'm so happy my boyfriend's like not into social media. Like, I love it. Because I just know, man, I know what's out there, and you know, like, it's so easy to just, like, look around me, like, what's going on in, like, I don't know, Miami. Ho, 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 ho. Oh, a normal family picture, a kid, a dog, ho, ho, ho. And it's like, I mean, it's not, like, I understand there's women out there that are very attractive. I am human. I know there's men that are more attractive than my boyfriend. It's okay. Like, you're gonna look sometimes, but I definitely don't want him to be, like, hit with that over-sexualized thing. And I just... it's something that I like. I feel like it just brings a lot of problems. I'm just glad he's not in it. And women just find an excuse to be sexual. Any reason is like you said, like they go on vacation. It's like a beautiful island, and they're like ass and the island, right? Or they get a new sofa and they're like, tits sofa. And it's like, why, bro? I just, every fine, or Halloween is the national day for you to like go and hoe out. Hell yeah. There's sexy everything, bro. It's like sexy SpongeBob. What the fuck?
Sexy Jesus.
Don't hate on SpongeBob,
Jesus.
okay? Please.
Sexy Mary and Joseph. And they're just like,
Bro,
you know,
you've
some
seen
shit.
the nun. You've seen the nun. That's all hoe like too.
Yeah,
Bro,
the
like,
nun.
how? I think the
That's
other
true,
day I
though.
saw
What
like
is this?
Monsters, the big guy from Monsters Inc., the blue guy, like a hoe blue monster.
Like a hoe? How does that become a hoe?
She had like puffy,
It's like a fat.
puffy, like a
Oh,
hoe
okay. I
costume.
see.
Man, I'll tell you something though. Like living in Miami is probably very toxic in that sense. Especially if,
bro.
like when I used to go the other day, I was with my girlfriend watching, some documentary like on South Beach, and I just remember how toxic that place is. And I never really went into the, because when I was there, I was very young, so we used to just go drink in the beach because that was the cheap thing to do. Like, but I would pass by the restaurants and all those stuff. And now I saw it on video, and my girlfriend's like, "Oh, look at that!" I'm like, "Wow!" I just remember how, like, for her it's exciting, but I just see a bunch of douchebags and just people trying to like act like they're something they're not, and it just doesn't interest me to go to a place that's overpriced, overfilled with violence, and just to like, I don't know, for the picture of it or the thing, or I don't know. But Miami, California, places like that, they're very toxic in that sense. Like in Spain, if you go to Valencia, which is the coast in the beach, like that's sort of that place over there where like everyone's hot,
That
like
would be the
everyone's a
equivalent
model.
over there?
Right? Like you go to the beach, right? You're like, oh shit, I'm gonna have a beer or something. And then there's just people like doing flips and shit and like, and you're like, fuck, bro. Shit. Like, I'm here with my.
Can a guy just come to the fucking beach and don't feel judged, bro? Like, what? It's the same thing at the gym, bro. We go to the gym and there's like fucking models, like with like their boobs out, and I'm here like, I'm just trying to work out.
Yeah. I don't like gyms in general. Just, there's just a vibe there, you know? Like,
Oh, there is
like
a vibe.
I certainly understand like girls wanting to go to the gym, like just girl gyms, right? That's a thing like that exists, right?
I would
Just-
like that. That used to exist. I think those died.
Oh,
because
really?
now women only go to... Bro, these girls go with like a full face of makeup. There's women that go to the gym solely for the purpose of like getting attention. And it's like so annoying because you're waiting for a fucking machine and she's like...
That's fucking weird, right? Like that those type of gyms lost business because they were like women don't want that. Like in general, like the masses, like and then guys too. Like a guy wouldn't go to an only guy gym. They'll probably be like, "What? Am I gay or some shit?" Like they'll probably even act like that, like hostile about it. But it's just easier. Like if you're gonna go work out, like that should be the thing, you know.
I would prefer it. You
know what I
you
love?
don't have to deal
I
with
actually
like
wouldn't mind doing
sexual
it.
stuff. You're just going there to work out. You can look pretty or not. Doesn't give a, who cares?
That should be the case.
Right. No, I kind of agree because like every time I go to the gym, like I've got really beat up sneakers. Sometimes I don't really want to color coordinate, and it's like I go there and everybody, it's just like a pressure that I just want to get out of there, which is not really gonna help with the fact that I'm going to the gym and I'm there to be healthy, right? So it's like it kind of cuts everything out. It's not really cool. I wouldn't even mind going to an all dudes gym, not like on a segregation thing,
so you can,
because
relax,
no dude gives a
Yeah,
shit about-
I like it
Yeah.
more. Like I just got a bicycle, a mountain bike, and I'm just doing exercise on that because, like you said, like Steve, like going to the gym, man. I'm going with my worst clothes to the gym, so like, you know what I mean?
Oh, I'm
Bro,
going. Yeah,
y'all
I
need
want the
some
shit. I'm
gym
not gonna wear my good
clothes.
I
clothes.
really do. And then you see me at the gym.
Don't judge us.
I could be going to the gym like continuously for months, and every time I go, it looks like, oh, that's that guy's first day here. Like that's
Oh, the broke
that's who
guy.
I am.
I think I've seen
here.
him.
They know when you're new, bro. They know.
They know,
You
right?
can
You're like,
smell that shit.
like, yeah, you don't
No,
have
I
any
gotta
cardiovascular.
say, you know what? your blood seems to be pumping well through your body. You're good. Then there's that guy that's just going down the stairs. He's like out of breath. You're like, oh, it's one of those.
I went just a quick one. I went to a gym in Miramar a while back, and the gym is on the second floor. And I was just starting out, and I was going up those stairs, and I'm like,
The
wow.
whole I have to go down the stairs.
I gotta go now. I gotta go work out. Oh, don't have leg day. Don't go and do leg day at that gym, bro. Like, yeah, She's a fucking.
I gotta say
Sorry.
though, like,
That's a side rant.
that used to be me. I had like my basic ass leggings and like some oversized shirt, and I used to go like that. And then I got more into it, and then I am not as sponsored, but Gymshark, if you want to sponsor me, I would love to.
Gym shorts, they're called.
Gymshark, like shark.
Okay.
Bro, I got a ton of outfits from there, and I fucking love it. I know it sounds so stupid, but I put those on, and I'm like, hell yeah, I'm gonna go to the gym.
But what, like, are they comfortable?
They're comfortable, but they're also very pretty.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they serve both purposes.
I'm that girl that's color coordinating in the gym. I fucking love it.
Oh, but
And there's nothing wrong with that, but I just.
I know, but it's funny how that's the standard, because now that I'm there, I feel like I belong. Before, yeah, it's just about pressure. You feel really uncomfortable. And again, it's not just the gym. If you go to the beach, like, if you don't have a good body, you instantly feel like,
Yeah, it is true. That's why I avoid it.
Being around, I mean, if there was like a fat state, I would feel good.
Should we call it like a fit people privilege? Like, is that a thing?
There's definitely that. But is it a privilege?
Yeah.
If everybody can do it? Like, you know what I mean?
It's not.
Like
we're just lazy, bro.
Like, dude, like, I'm a guy that needs some.
Yeah.
I'm a guy that needs some weight losing, right? And when I look at other people that like criticize skinny people, like, oh, you have privilege, like, bitch, you could do it too. Like, we could be skinny too. Like, it's our decision, you know. Like, every day when we like decide to stuff a pizza down our holes, that's our decision. Like if you want to talk about like
nobody pointed a gun when you had that last pizza roll, so shut up.
Like even like women privilege, white privilege, male privilege, we could all talk about that, and there could be arguments on both sides, right? Regardless of what your thoughts on it are. But it's like you can be skinny. Like, you cannot be a man if you're a woman. Well, I mean, I guess that's wrong saying that today as well. So I'm fucked anyway. Because if you can be a woman if you want.
Facts are not facts anymore.
Yeah, 2 + 2 is 5 sometimes, guys.
I identify as an elephant, so.
I identify as an unicorn.
Hey, you know what? I'd be down. I'd be fine with that. I want to be a sea turtle.
But that's crazy though. Like, this is a problem. I don't know what you guys. I don't know what you guys think of this, but there's like children, right? That 13, 14, especially girls, start saying like, oh, I feel like I should be a guy. Like, I feel inside that I should be a guy. And then they go to certain places like Planned Parenthood, right? And they tell them this. And then the people in there are like, oh, okay, so what you want to do is like, oh, I want to take this medication so that I can start transitioning. And if a doctor or a psychologist was to tell them like, oh, but don't you want to wait to maybe like see once you grow up, like if this is, you cannot even say that because that's considered like gender phobe or some shit. And it's like even doctors, and I've heard this on many like conversations, like actual doctors are like, people are not even wanting to really advise these girls correctly. And you have a jump of like, back in the day, it used to be like 0.05% of people that might think when they're like growing up that they might be of the other sex. Now it's jumped to like 10% of girls. And it's like a percentage that makes no sense. Like, it's definitely being driven by society and shit. And what ends up happening is like a lot of people that think they're from the other sex end up just being like gay, you know? Like, oh, fuck, no, I just like...
I'm just kidding. I was just gay. I didn't want to be a man. I just kind of like men.
I just like girls too, and I just realized that now that I'm 18, right? When I was 20, I was fucking stupid. Like,
I'm still stupid.
Yeah, I'm still stupid. I'm 30 now, and I'm 31 now, and I still like don't even know what the fuck is going on in life. So it's like, you're gonna give this 13, 14-year-old girl this medicine that's gonna fuck her whole biology up.
Yeah.
Because she says she thinks she's a guy. I believe that you gotta wait until at least you're 18.
Yeah. It just, I don't know what the medical differences are there if you start at like 13 versus 18. But like, if you can get the same results when you start a little later at 18, I would advise them to wait. I mean, I would hate, like, let's say if that's my kid, man. My son, he's like, listen, Mom, I think I'm a girl and I was born in the wrong body and this medication's gonna help me. And I think if he continuously tells me, and if I don't give him this medication now, he's never ever going to have that feminine look he would always want to have. I would feel some pressure to give it to him. But if he can get the same looks when he starts later in life, I would so advise that. Because I was an idiot, man. I think we think things when we're young that is like not true. The person I am today is absolutely not whoever I was in my teens or even my 20s. I feel like now in my late 20s is where I'm like finally like understanding who I am, what I want with my life, my decisions, my big decisions. You know, do I want to marry? Do I want kids? But I think I agree. Like, if there's a way to push it when you are more of an adult, not because we don't believe you, not because whatever, but just wait and see. And if this is true, you can still take it. But for now, don't fuck up. You might change your mind. And I think when you're a kid, you think you're right. I remember being young and being like, Mom, you don't understand. Remember that? I hate you. And your mom's like, okay, sure, you're an idiot. But it's hard. I think it's a hard conversation, but I agree with you. I guess what I'm trying to say.
My mom used to tell me, because I wanted a tattoo so bad. And like, I'll tell you what, I'll pay for your tattoo at the age of 30. At the age of 30, if you still want a tattoo, I'll buy you your tattoo.
Never mind. I'm glad you made me wait. You see, that's what happens.
Yeah. Right? I like them. I like some people, but I personally can't commit to something. Yeah. So
I was like, that guy.
It's not gonna make me
a better person. But then I just fucking took off and got it anyway.
You just went through with
it. But maybe you identify with that more, right? I mean, you're more. You were always an artist. You were always singing and making music, and it just kind of like it was a
yeah, I got musical tattoos, so I guess they're still relevant, but like. Nowadays, I think of it differently. Like, I want to get more tattoos, but I haven't gotten any because I'm like, until I have like 1,000 euros saved up just for that, like, I don't have anything else to invest on in my life. Like everything else is cool, and I just have 1,000 that are just hurting my pocket. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get a badass tattoo. But like back in the day where I was just like scavenging and like trying to get a cheap, I'm just like, what the fuck was I doing? Like, I mean, I fixed up my tattoos. They don't look bad or anything. But it was definitely not the way to do it, You don't want to go to some, like, shit in Hialeah Road, and that's not where I got it, but,
Oh, Hialeah Road?
Just trying to, like, give some, like, you don't want to go to some hood, and it's like, hey, do you got the 2-for-1 today? All right, let's do it. Yeah. You don't want to be the guy's like, oh, but what about the 2-for-1 offer on internet? You don't want to be that guy when you get a tattoo.
Or it's like when you're young and you have... like your high school boyfriend or girlfriend, you think you're gonna be together forever, and how many people do actually? I mean, I know there's some that end up together, but bro, like, what are the chances you're gonna end up with this person? Very minimal. It's the same thing. Like, you're just young, you don't know what you want. Just try to wait. Any major decisions, wait. Which I think, like, when it came time to make the first major decision in my life, it was college, what I wanted to go to school for. I was an idiot. I was super I feel like I was too young to make that. I don't regret it now, but I definitely felt a lot of pressure. I was like, fuck, like, you're asking me now what I want to do with the rest of my life. And I feel like high school didn't prepare me for that question. No. I was like totally like, I don't know, I'm just going to take random classes, and then you don't know. It's just,
you don't.
I feel like they do that on purpose, right? Just to make you like pay for classes until you like choose a direction and then realize because you just
need to pay whatever it is, just give it to me. It don't really matter.
Yeah.
I think they should prepare you more in high school towards like choosing what you want, And I think charter schools are better at that than public schools, but it's definitely like with me. I had it clear very young because I just always liked math, and I was like, all right, so I want to do something with engineering and then my music. So I was like, all right, it's pretty clear. But besides that, my whole life was a mystery, and I could understand how there were kids where they're like, I don't even know what I'm passionate about, Like, I got really lucky that I found a passion when I was very young with music, but it's very hard to find that young. And the most common thing is for you to not know what you want to do. So at 17, in the U.S., you're 16, 17, they're like, what do you want to study? It's like, what the fuck? And then, all right. And then they send you to some dorm room in Orlando if you go to UFC or whatever, and you're just getting wasted for 4 years. And you're like, did you learn it? Did you learn it?
You just learn how to take tests, man. Like, I
Shots.
wish back in high school they would have stopped teaching me those stupid mandatory classes you have to take, and they would have they would have taught me how to invest my money, or how to do badass resume, or how to do a portfolio. Like this stupid dumbass class.
How to do my taxes and shit. They don't.
Yes.
They didn't teach us anything of fucking
No.
value. I don't even.
No.
Like the only thing I use today is like, all right, if I'm gonna write an email, I want to have like an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. Therefore,
A thesis.
Statement.
Besides that, there's nothing. Like, you didn't tell me what like how taxes work. You didn't tell me like how could I manage my money correctly, right? None of that. You didn't tell me how to fucking do an oil change, how to change my tires. Nothing. We didn't learn anything that prepares you for life. And then
Like
they just
real life.
you're 17.
Teach me
you
how
want-
to adult, please.
Yeah, exactly. Instead, they tell you.
Yeah, there should be a whole grade just
It
like
should
You
be
got it.
11th and then adult, because the
level.
12th grade is just you're not doing shit anyways. Like, come on.
You guys remember that class?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if in charter if they had it, but I remember when I was in public school, they had it. It was called home ec.
With
Home
the
education.
babies, bro.
Yeah, and they gave you like a big ass robot
Bro,
baby.
that baby would the head would drop so fast on that baby. I had it.
You had it? You know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about, Steven?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't do well with my baby. So, I wasn't
I
paying
had
attention
it in
to
Flanagan, though. I
grandma's
had it in public school. I don't know if charter had that.
Charter didn't have it, but like
Charter believed that you shouldn't get
I
pregnant.
was-
That's
I was-
Abstinence, okay, go take religion.
right. I think it was with the girlfriend I was with at the time that she brought home
Oh, shit.
a baby, and I was like, oh shit, like
It's yours.
Let's work on
It's
this together.
ours.
And I'm like, oh my, yeah.
okay.
It's
This
ours.
is
I'm
practice,
like, oh, yeah,
Steven.
well,
Okay. This is it. This is it.
So,
It's been 7 months,
that is
Steven.
a lot
Where's
of
my
pressure.
baby?
Okay.
Right?
Promise me.
We're about to graduate high school. Like, what the fuck?
You ain't lying about that.
Oh, for real?
Oh shit.
Oh,
we
boy.
touched some.
No,
We
it's,
touched on subject.
yeah, you got
Yeah.
me hit my heart.
No, I mean
Hit me
like
hard on that one.
that-
I remember.
no, but on the last episode we were talking about because it was our 30th episode, and we were talking about the dirty 30s, and apparently it started as a thing or like a belief of it was that women at 30 they felt pressure to have like a kid and all this stuff.
Yeah, dude, this is true. I haven't heard
But-
the episode, but this is very true.
Me living in Spain, here, that pressure is a lot less, and it's actually the other way around where they're like, no, fuck that, I want to chill, enjoy my life, and then at 40 maybe I'll have a kid. And so they look at it differently, and they don't have that social pressure. You know what's weird about Spain? That nowadays, because it was such a machista culture, right?
Yeah.
Back in the day, they had this push of feminism, and I think it went a little too far, to the point where like, if you go out with
Women
a
are
girl,
like, fuck you, make your own kids.
yeah, go fuck your friend, like.
I don't give a fuck about you. Go make
No,
your own
but-
damn baby.
But for real, like they have a I mean, they're very aggressive women. You know what I mean? Like,
Really?
yeah, and they're like, if you go out with a girl and you wanna pay, it's like, wait, like, no.
What do you think? Like,
We go half and
do you
half.
not respect me?
Yeah, you respect me. Like, I'm not enough to like
Am
pay
I
for
not to pay
my
for my own food?
my consumption in life. Like, do you think the and
The patriarchy.
but it
I
goes
feel.
that far to the point where it's like, no, I don't even need kids, and that's cool, but fuck, I think it shouldn't go that far in certain cases. If that's what your decision, that's cool, but you don't want to press that on the whole society of like you wanting to have kids and like have a husband. It's like, oh, you fucking feed
How
into the
dare
system.
you? Yeah, like
you're part of the
giving it to
matrix.
the man. You're like, I want nothing. I don't want a home. It's just stupid, man. Like, do whatever you want to do. But there's pressure. It's just, and then you keep reading articles that like, if you don't have like at 34 is like some sort of like you have all these risks at pregnancy, and I'm like, bro, I feel like I'm like, I don't know. I remember when I was young and I was like, by 28, I'm going to be married and I'm going to have 2 kids and it's going to be perfect. And now I'm like, fuck that. I have a nephew. I have 2 nephews, 2-year-old and a 2-month-old. And I go and I spend time with them and I'm like, yep, I still don't want kids. But it's still like, I don't want it, but the time's like getting... Because you don't want to, I mean, I don't want to be
Well-
old. I also don't want to be like 70 with like a 3-year-old. I mean, I know I'm exaggerating, but I still want to have energy, you know, to keep up with the kids, and I want to be young and enjoy them.
Well, you just bought a bunch of gym clothes, that you should just be staying healthy, and then whenever you come across a child moment, then you can, you'll still have that energy. I mean, my thing is that the statistics show that after the age of 40, whatever is not whatever happens, but also kind of pivoting to what Kiko was saying about the women in Spain having babies at the age of 40. I do believe that there's something to be said about the quality of life and the focus on health. If you have a healthier body and you're constantly moving, you have a longer lifespan, and that longer lifespan is a slower degeneration of your internals. Like your kidneys are better at the age of 40 than if you are a stagnant person, men or women. You know what I'm saying? When you get to 30, like right now, I'm 30. I feel like
internally
crap,
you might be 50.
Yeah.
Internally, exactly. My internal body is actually like a 50-year-old, where like maybe somebody like, for instance, Zac Efron, who's traveling the world and figuring all this bullshit and looking like a goddamn, Greek god.
He is a god.
Is probably feeling great. Probably feeling great at the age at almost my age. You know what I mean? I think he's like 29 or. He's
That's a fucked
so
up comparison,
So
dude, right? Don't you hate when you see people of your same like age and they're like hot as fuck, and you're like,
yeah, and they're killing it.
Fuck you, okay?
Yeah, you watch. I'm watching the Umbrella Academy, and this guy looks like he's like a freaking beast mode, Diego, and he's my age. I'm older than him, or I'm older than him by a little bit, but he's a big dude. I'm like, dude, like, you got to work on something like that. You got to work on that for like a while. So kind of going back to what you're saying, I don't think it would be a bad idea to have a child at 40. I'm not a medical person, believe me. I'm sure that there are certain risks, but if you stay healthy and you enjoy your life and you don't like, kill yourself with drugs and alcohol and all this other stuff, then you know what I mean? You could very well have a 15-year-old and you're kicking ass.
And I think also
35 sounds so old,
you know what I mean? Man. Yeah, I think 35.
Right.
But there are some kick ass 55.
But what you're saying, Steve, here in Spain it's very common to see like couples have babies after 40,
older.
right? Actually, they don't get married until like 30 something, right? So, but it is also true. I mean, they're a lot healthier here, so we could argue that they maybe have 10 years less of or more of lifespan than the typical American. But also, when you're 40, you should be a lot better financially. And I think a big error that people do sometimes is just having a kid and not having, like, I don't feel financial stable enough to like have the responsibility of a kid. You know what I mean? And it's like,
to give them the best possible life, right?
I mean, this is the other argument where it's like, oh, but it's not perfect time. Like a baby is like a gift.
Oh, but there's a better time than now.
But there is, right?
Yeah, it's not perfect, but it's better.
No, I agree. Sure. I agree. Like, you
take them
to
like that.
Yeah. Like, I hope I never. I mean, it should be unlikely that I get pregnant because, like, I'm on birth control. But I definitely want to plan for my baby. You know, I want to make sure I have money in the bank, and I want to make sure, we have an emergency fund. Something happens. You want to be prepared because, like, I know people are like, oh, babies are a blessing and this and that. Like, yes, they're great, but your life is over. Like, your life is done. That's it. Like, everything revolves around the baby. And if you didn't get to do it before, you're not going to be able to do it now, or at least you're going to have to wait a little bit until the baby gets a little older and you have some freedoms again. But babies require a lot of attention, a lot of time, a lot of money. And couples that pressure, I think it's a lot, like also with women. Women pressure a lot for men to like, baby, baby, baby. You do it when a time and you're not ready. And I think that makes the relationship take a toll because the man wasn't ready emotionally or financially and if you're not in it, you're not in it. And you're going to be causing like friction because you just, I'm doing it because I love you or whatever, but I really don't want to be doing this shit.
Right. That's another layer that might actually ruin the relationship the great relationship you thought you had.
Rushing any decision or marriage too. I've seen some girls that are like, we've been together a year and he hasn't proposed, and I'm like, honey,
you crazy girl.
All right. I don't wanna. I wanna leave people with like a little bit of a wanting for more, right? We're definitely gonna have Daniela back, and she can stick around for the next segment that we're gonna have as well. But I wanna end the podcast here where it's still hot. You know, I wanna retire when we're still winning. You know, when you're still killing it.
Yeah, don't retire a winner.
Yeah, but hopefully we didn't rant too much, and we made a little bit of sense. We're super grateful to have Daniela and have a woman's perspective, which is always needed. You know, I think Steven would agree that it's refreshing, especially our podcast, which is revolved around a lot of men topics. So not really, but we have a lot of men guests, and we're also just always giving that perspective. It's great to have a woman say tell us what they see from their end, because you know we don't have the same angle. So thank you for that.
Thank you for having me. I'm like a true fan over here. Like I'm like excited. Listen to the podcast, okay, people. Listen to the podcast or watch it. Whatever you do. I'm more of a listener, but you do you, boo boo. You know, play or push whatever buttons or something here, and then push something else and do all the things.
Gymshark, if you want to sponsor us.
Yeah, bro, I'm down for it. I love your clothes. La Croix too. Sponsor us, send that money, honey. I'm a boss bitch. How about that?
Boss, yeah. That's how you be a boss. You come onto the Broskiedoodles podcast and you don't have to show any body parts. Thanks for joining us today, guys. We appreciate it. Till next time.
Bye.